All right, everybody. This one's going to be a little bit different. I'm letting some metal cool while I'm filming a different video for you guys. Let me go ahead and tell you a little story about, let me start over. I get questions all the time about, do I really drive this thing? Do I really have one? By people that don't know me. And yes, I do, but I'm going to tell you the story of how I ended up with it, because it's not really me. I'm a hot rodder, but I've always liked these types of cars. And what I mean by I've always liked these types of cars is things from Italy. I enjoy them. They're pretty. Get off me. So yes, I do own a Maserati. Did I buy it new? Hell no. It's a 2013 Maserati Gran Turismo Sport. Yes, that's the one with the Ferrari V8. Yes, it's a blast to drive. Yes, it's probably the most suave car I've ever owned, I guess. But how I got it is the only way that I'd end up with it. So a few years ago, my wife and I were still very heavily into the motorcycles. She's dirty as hell right now, so I'll probably show you guys the inside anyway now. Anyway, wife and I were still racing motorcycles, very avid riding motorcycles. And when we first started this journey that we're on now, we owned a house in Huntsville, Alabama. We were still racing. I owned my own shop. It was just a general repair shop. I didn't do the fab things very often. The last fab shop I worked at left an extremely bad taste in my mouth, to the tune of customers were subpoenaing me on their behalf to go to court against the owner of the shop. Just a bad deal. And so I kind of said I'm going to take a break from that, from as far as doing it for other people. And that still resonates true to this day. I don't fab for other people. I'm just kind of doing it myself. But back on topic, we were racing, and I had a guy I raced with was trying to get me to come back to working on bikes. And I was trying to call his bluff. I said, give me X amount of money, plus this much sign-on bonus, plus time to sell the house, and all this stuff. And I thought I was just over the moon with my demands, and he met all of them. I show up out there in Georgia, and things were good for a little while, and then the company had been bought out by another parent company, which was owned by some bigwig car company. I'm gonna leave the names out of it, just because I ain't trying to get hunted down legally. Anyway, things weren't working out. They started falling short on their promises, which of course left me feeling some type of way. But while we were there, I had a couple Harleys that I was riding around town. When you live outside Atlanta, a motorcycle is the best way to get around in that traffic. Good Lord, it's terrible. So anyway, my wife wanted to ride with me still, so bought her a Harley Davidson. We were still racing with Wera, motorcycle racing, and I couldn't shake these things out of my head. Fast forward a couple years, my wife can't ride anymore. She has circulation problems in her hands. She can't hold on to the bars for longer than about 20-25 minutes. They just go numb. It's a dangerous situation. So her motorcycle was just sitting there collecting dust, because it was set up for her. It's set up for a much smaller person than, this. And, it killed me because I was making a payment on it. I ain't rich. I didn't pay that thing outright. I was making a payment for something that was just sitting there. Now, in a show of solidarity, I sold all my bikes to afford things with the property. Down payments, I sold my race trailer, sold like 2 cars, sold my Harley. I actually sold some of the bikes to afford this, and my empire of stuff. So anyway, sold everything, and her bike was just sitting there. No reason for her to ride it. I wasn't riding, and she couldn't. So I was like, man, I need to do something with this bike. It's killing me making a payment on something that's just sitting there. And so I just started pipe dreaming. Get these lights cranked back up. I started just, pipe dreaming about having that or a Lamborghini or just something stupid, right? Just, boy dreams off the top of my head. And, this was actually available down here in Pensacola in Florida. So we took a drive over there. The salesman was pretty awesome. He met me out front right as they were closing after work one day to take a look at it. And we went to go look at it because I'd been looking at the cars and they sound phenomenal and they look good, but I had never sat in one. So we go over there and dude meets me, and I looked at it and I looked at my wife and I said, that color? She goes, yeah, I know you want it. In the sun, that color is incredible. And I said, yeah, there's no way. So sat in it. Dude drove me around, or let me drive around. I didn't even want to test drive it. I just wanted to look at it. But he let me drive it. The car had a couple issues, which we're still trying to get resolved. Another time. The dealer's actually been okay with everything. So I drove the car, looked at my wife. She said, you know you want it. I said, you're right, I do. But, there's only one way I can buy this thing. I looked at the salesman and I said, hey, I got a bike. I owe money on it. If you'll take that in, and I leave here with $0 down, we'll talk, but the payment can't change. So again, shooting high, expecting to get shot down, and then I just keep paying for the bike. No big deal. So his sales F&I guy comes out, gets some info off the bike, looks at the mileage on the bike, which was extremely low, says, I'll call you. Next day calls me, said, we need a down payment, which I didn't have. So I pretty much thought it was a dead deal. I'm blessed to work for the people that I work for. And a deal was struck for the down payment with him because I was selling a car. And so I borrowed the down payment from him, went and picked up the car. About 20 days later, the car I had for sale sold, and I was able to give him back the down payment in its entirety. And now I own, a childhood pipe dream car. Is it some crazy Ferrari or Lambo? No, but this thing is good enough for me. I enjoy it. So yes, I have a Maserati. Yes, I think it's very nice. Yes, the floor is dirty right now, but it's a damn spaceship, and I love it, and it sounds really good. So that is how I ended up with a Maserati. No, I'm not rich. No, I don't have a bunch of money. Yes, I owe money on the car. I got a warranty with it because it's Italian. And let's just face facts. You need one. So yeah, and my payment on the bike didn't change. So they held their end. I signed on the dotted line. I've had that thing for about 6 months now. Love it. But normally, no, I would not have gone out and bought this car and looked for it. But that's how I ended up with it. Am I happy with it? Yeah, it's pretty sweet. But there, secret's out. I own a Maserati. It's not all hot rods. But other than that, it's all hot rods. The newest car besides that I own is a 98, and it's that red truck. Everything else is 40 plus years old. That thing is already 13 years old, so I don't own anything new. I try to keep my wife in that stuff. So that's the story of the Maserati and how I ended up with it. And I enjoy having that thing. I have something with AC and heat, and that's pretty cool. So there's the story of the Maserati and how it came to be. Thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna get back to work here so I have something to show y'all.